everybody. Welcome back to the Geriatric Millennials. This is Jayme.
And this is Beth.
And we're two oldish, youngish ladies. And really, this is going to be Beth talking about. Something she's pretty excited about.
Listen, this is my happy place. This is my safe space. I am so excited because today we're talking about sister wives. I have mentioned sister wives.
We mean you, and I will be nodding vigorously.
Yes, similar to our Vanderpump Rules episode. I decided that because Sister Wives is back now, the new season has been up for a minute, and Jayme does not watch. And
I really don't watch anything these days.
I know you have a life, but some of us live within the walls of reality television.
Yeah. No, actually, I've been watching Ted Lasso. Highly recommend.
Very good. This is not that.
No, this is not that. I know. I want to hear about this.
Okay, so
it is a fascinating realm.
And last season was like, it was popping off on TikTok and everywhere. Sister Wives was like on fire because one of the wives left. But we need to go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Because when I tell you that this show has done something to me, I don't even know. I started watching this show when I was living in South Korea, and I was like, I don't know, I think I bought episodes off of iTunes.
I feel like this is a long time ago.
This was like 10 years plus ago.
You are invested.
And it's like it's my comfort show. So like, you know how people watch The Office over and over?
Yeah, that would be somebody in my life that I know.
Yes. That is me and Sister Wives.
Okay.
So when I say I've seen the episodes like a couple of times, no. I've seen these episodes probably at least 15 times each. And you might be like, oh my gosh, Beth, how does that even happen? How do you do that and have a life? First of all, thank you for assuming I might have a life. Secondly, it's my comfort show.
So while you're doing other stuff.
Exactly.
It's in
my
the background. Yeah.
So it's like sense. I have it on my iPad and I'm walking around the house cleaning or whatever. If I'm doing like a boring project, I have it on in the background, tip-tapping away on my computer.
Okay.
That is the level we're talking about.
Right.
I do, however, love this. Love it so much. And I feel like you have no idea what Sister Wives is.
I think you've told me briefly, but please tell me.
I know you really need to know this.
Isn't this about Mormon people who are a bunch of like ladies married to the same guy?
Yes. It is based on a fundamentalist Mormon family, very different than the LDS church of right now, because they follow different rules, and they still do polygamy, which a lot of times when they talk about it in the episodes, like it's always about polygamy as their faith, not really about other things. Like, so it's just, there's a big emphasis on polygamy. Also editing, and that's what they got picked up by TLC.
Right, it's a show, but this is real. I mean,
it's real.
And there are communities, right?
There's
polygamous
so many polygamous communities.
There's
the FLDS. There's the Kingstons. There's other shows called like Leaving Polygamy, which is like people like helping people or escaping polygamy.
Oh my!
Just all this stuff.
Are most of these communities in Utah? Or are they everywhere else?
There's a lot in Utah, but they're everywhere. Like they're in Arizona. Like you can find pockets. Like my mom told me about a polygamous couple here. Like,
you mean like a throuple?
So a throuple is you. I'm not in the culture, but from my understanding, a throuple is more like when all parties are involved. Right? It's like
like even with each other. Like the two women or the two guys.
But with polygamous, it's like it's a husband and multiple wives.
Why did I assume it was like two of one sex and one of another?
For what?
Because couldn't a throuple be like all girls or all guys?
Yeah, a throuple could be three of anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen male throuples too.
In this context, it's one male, multiple females.
Yes.
Okay.
And
they have a bunch of kids with him too, right?
Yes.
Like how many?
They had 17 kids.
And this is just one family. The show is based on one family.
And so
one guy with all his families.
Yeah. And so his name's Cody Brown. And they call it the Cody Brown family, which I think is disgusting. Ugh. And a lot of time when they're talking, they say, the family, it's about the family. So do
they consider each other their family too? Like sister wives?
They're sister wives. So they're like, it's like its own special relationship.
Do they live in a compound? Do they live in the same house? Do they all have separate houses? I have so many questions.
Okay, we're going to get there. We got this. This is so good. Okay, so we start off meeting the Cody Brown family. Cody Brown, who's this like very charismatic, energetic guy.
Super sexy? Like why does he have all these wives?
No, he has like crazy curly, like just crazy hair. I mean, you can see that he was like a cute guy.
I'm going to Google him right now.
Okay.
Oh, he's just like a normal dude.
He's like an average all-American white dude.
Okay, yeah.
And so And as he was younger, he was very sparkly, and
he almost looks like Keith Ledger, like an older Keith Ledger.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Keith Ledger's.
Yeah.
He was super hot.
But similar hair, but more balding. Anyway, so we meet this family and he's like introducing us to his wives on the first episode. And he has 3 original wives. Mary, who he married first when she was like 19, he was like 20 something. Then he married Janelle, who was this like, she's like the super independent, just like smart woman for the most part. And then he married Christine, who's like light and bubbly. And she just always wanted to be a third wife. And Christine.
What do you mean? She always wanted to, she literally wanted to be a third wife? Yeah,
because she said she never wanted to be married to like someone by themselves. Like she's just kind of scared that she didn't want to be the second wife because she thought it was a wedge. She always wanted to be a third wife. Well, she's polygamy like royalty. Like her grandfather funded one of like or was the head of one of the churches for a long time of the polygamous groups. Yeah. So
I just have my mouth open.
Yeah.
My jaw is dropped because I have never, this is so foreign to me to think about somebody wanting to literally like wanting to be a third wife.
Yeah.
It's so
But that's the culture she was raised in, right? She had multiple moms and like, what you're raised in is what you're used to. And that's your reality. And most of these groups are really closed off and they're very like, don't allow a lot of outsiders in. So you get siloed. So, the norm is the norm.
Right.
Anyway, so the first episode, we're meeting them.
But this is in America.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's in America.
Right.
You can find every kind of group. Okay. So anyway, so they're all meeting and we're meeting the family and like, Mary unfortunately like had fertility issues. So she only has one child who later came out as trans. So she has a child named Leon. And then
how'd that go over?
They haven't actually aired the episodes yet of because this just happened.
Oh.
So, but when they came out as gay, like people were pretty open and accepting, like which is
in
kind
their
of
community, in their
family,
Cody Brown family,
in the family, but not necessarily the community.
Okay, interesting.
Yes. So Mary has one child. Janelle, I think, has 6 kids, and I think Christine has 5 or 6. I can't remember off the top of my head because there's a bunch of them. So they have all these kids, and like Christine was always like the at-home one, like taking care of kids, and Janelle had a job, and Mary had a job, and it's a collaborative effort to make a big family work.
Are they living in the same house?
So they have one house, one big house, and like at this
with like 18 rooms?
No, well, it's like 3. It's one big house, but there's 3 separate family living quarters with bedrooms and stuff, and the kids are sharing bedrooms and whatnot. But the whole thing is that the very first episode we find out that Cody, well, I guess it's the second episode technically, but we find out he's courting a new wife, and so
courting. I know what you're saying, but I'm like, are you kidding me? He's married to 3 people and he's courting
someone.
What the F?
And then that culture, it's like he can't just go out and say, I want a new
wife.
wife.
I'm super judgmental of this.
Okay, I'm all right. I love it. So in the culture,
you love it in that you love what it's entertaining.
It's
you
so
don't want to be
fascinating.
a polygamist, do you?
No.
Why'd you have to think about that?
Well, part of me is like, man, that might be nice just to like.
Would you want to be a first, second, third, fourth wife?
I'd want to be like a 5th wife. Like, just leave me alone. I'm married on paper.
So what would be the benefit?
Exactly. So maybe not. Maybe so people would just get off my back of like, why aren't you married? It's like, I am.
I'm the 5th wife.
Yes.
Leave me alone.
So anyway, so he's courting this younger girl. She's like 10 years younger than him.
Oh.
So she's like in her 30s. She's like a single mom with 3 kids. And
okay.
And she's in the lifestyle too. Like she was she
was someone else's fifth wife?
No, she was married. They hadn't ever taken on a second wife. They got divorced. There were some allegations of, abuse and just dysfunction.
Okay.
So he starts courting this girl, and like the whole first like season is about just them courting and like.
So when you say courting, are you saying dating?
Dating, but like you're not supposed to do anything physical. It's supposed to be very like. Yeah. So like he can't technically go out and just like, I want a new wife. Like it's supposed to come from one of the other wives. So his wife, Mary, has been like, oh, I think it's time for someone new, which come to find out later because they've written a book and just done other media that they had courted other people before, but nothing worked out. And so they started courting Robin and they just.
You say they. So does this mean the wives are in on this courting process?
Part of it. So like Mary encouraged him to go like talk to her at a party.
This is just like concubines. Well, this is like concubines in this like book I just read from the 1500s.
But they're not like prostitutes though. They're like
they're concubines. They live there
but they have full relationships, like full marriages. So he rotates every day. He's with another woman, which I'm always like, this is where it gets creepy for me. And I do not like to like think about other people in this way, but I'm like, does he hit it in the morning and then go hit it in the night with someone else? Because that would be like,
oh, why not? Why
much.
wouldn't? Probably not for him.
Yeah. Well, not when he was younger. So anyway, so the first season is all about them, like, you know, Robin coming into the family and the wedding and stuff, and just seeing how the dynamic plays out. And then, you know, and then the next, like,
so he has a wedding with all of the wives, each wife.
So they have in their culture. Again, I'm not in the culture, so I'm not 100%. But from what I know, is that they do this wedding where they're sealed together as a family. And so the cameras are not allowed in, but they have this thing where they say certain things, and a leader in their church like presides over it and like seals them because they believe in they're married for eternity.
Okay.
So anyway, that all happens, and then they have like a reception where everybody comes, and you start noticing like there's definitely some jealousy happening, especially with Christine. Now, let me just say this: as he's courting this fourth wife, Robin, Christine is like pregnant. So she gives birth and they get married like a couple months later.
Interesting.
So she's like postpartum. She is like having a baby. Like, and her big thing was like, you don't, like, they shouldn't have any physical contact before marriage. But Cody kissed Robin before they got married. And I think that really bothered Christine because she's like, you know, I didn't do any of that before getting married to him. And like, there's this video of him like at Robin's house. And he's on the way because Christine is in the hospital. Her water has broken and she's getting ready to have the baby. And he's smooching his girlfriend at the time.
This is a lot to manage for him.
Yeah.
How?
It gets 100 times worse.
I feel bad for the kids. They have one dad who's like not there for any of them.
But the kid
is my assumption.
No, they like for the most part, a lot of the kids, like as they're growing up, you can see they're like happy-ish, you know, like
yeah, but they don't have their dad's not
there every night, but their dad's
attention.
in the same house.
I know. No excuse. I know. What in the world? What is even this world? Okay, keep going. Okay, so
they're like, okay,
so this is back in the first season. This is first season.
Second, I'm going to just do
and there's been 10 seasons.
There's been more than that.
Oh, okay.
So we're not going to go everything. I'm just giving you the high. I just had to give you a little in-depth.
A little background.
Yes. So second season, basically like they've announced to the world they're polygamous, and now in Utah, polygamy is outlawed. And so now they're like, their city, like,
except for it happens all the time.
Yeah, but they're not publicly. It's very different when you say, hey, we're polygamous out in, you know, the world. When it's, you know what I mean? It's kind of like those.
Yeah, they're on TV.
Exactly. So I think the publicity and stuff got them on the radar. And so an investigation was open. And so the family freaks out. And again, they've been raised to think that like people are outside of the communities are out to get them and all of this stuff. And like, you have to avoid the law because like they're going to split up families. And it was kind of interesting because like, I guess one of the families, I think it was Christine's grandpa or something, he got polygamy or bigamy charges against him, and so they split up his family. But this was like years ago, but they still think it would happen today. Like, they're going to split our family up and they'll never let us talk to each other again. And
did you just say bigamy?
What's that? I think that's when you have more than one wife.
Well, then what's polygamy?
I think that's just like another word for it. Hold on, let me look.
Isn't bigamy just two wives?
Okay, so bigamy is like when you are in a legal marriage and then you enter into another legal marriage, which is not, it's against the law, right? You can't have two marriage certificates.
So how do they do this? Oh, they just don't do it legal. They do like religious, their sealing ceremony or whatever, and then
so
they live their life committed or whatever.
Yes. So the family freaks out.
So can any of the wives have more than one husband?
No. So literally, like Mary brings that up once, and Cody's like, "That's an abomination to think of with you two men." And
of course,
anyway, so we're gonna fast forward.
So patriarchal.
Oh, it's really and it gets even worse. So second season, they're like freaking out. They decide they're gonna run from Vegas. They make this big whole to do about how basically they're getting chased off in the middle of the night, which they're not. There was some creative editing. They end up moving to Vegas. They're living in 4 separate homes for a while, and then they decide to build homes in a cul-de-sac.
Okay, here's another question. Yeah. How do finances work in this? Okay, so who's the provider here?
So Cody had a job in sales, and then Janelle had a good job.
How can he provide for like 18 kids?
All four wives are working. There's a stay-at-home mom too, so that's childcare.
They just decide like which one of them is going to be the stay-at-home mom to like all 18 100 kids?
Well, yeah, because there was one that was more apt to do it. It was Christine. But like we came to find out years later that Christine was the primary caregiver for like the kids. And then she would like put her kids to bed at night and then go work a job, like crazy stuff. But then, so they really struggled financially a lot in their early years. They have a book that came out that they talk a lot about that.
Although they were probably making money from the show.
Yeah, as soon as they got the show, they started making money with the show. And then a lot of them do like MLMs now. So they like make money off the viewers and stuff. So like one's like a LuLaRoe person, one's like they sell like, I don't know, other stuff. So anyway, basically like the next few episodes, like the next few seasons are just like watching their family and, you know, they go on trips and they kind of create these things to kind of see how the family interacts. And you see little like things here and there with the wives. Like Robin had a really hard time coming into the family, and she has a tendency to like wear her heart on her sleeve and like crying all the time. And Christine was feeling a lot of jealousy, and Cody wasn't necessarily like helping with that because he definitely had like a favoritism like towards Robin. And all of this starts coming to a head because like Cody's just not taking care and like
because he has too many freaking wives.
And so like at some point, the first wife, Mary, like she decides to divorce Cody legally and let Robin marry Cody legally so that they can adopt Robin's kids, which is like a whole thing. That causes a lot of discourse in the family, just like because the shifting of like whatever. It's a lot happens. Again,
this is drama.
It's drama.
Yeah.
And so eventually like Mary is feeling like disconnected from the family. And so she gets catfished. So she starts talking to this guy online. And when you see the picture, it's like this handsome 30-something guy saying all the right things and making her feel special. And it turns out she's been catfished. And she was like, kind of like.
Can you tell me what that means?
Oh, catfished?
Yeah.
Okay. So
is it somebody pretending to be somebody else?
Yes, online. Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's this woman that catfished her and was like, you know, got her to basically like want to leave her family. Or it felt like that. I think she said that she wasn't planning on leaving, but I don't know if that guy had been real, if she would have stayed around because she wasn't getting the love and attention. That caused a huge like rift with her and Cody, which eventually led to them like actually separating. So there's just years of this, you know, they build their houses in Vegas. Everything seems to be going okay. There's still a little bit of tension on like where Cody spends his time, because again, he had been spending like, you know, like every fourth night with each wife, right? Like spending the day at the house, and that Mary kind of dropped out of that. And then all of a sudden he's spending more time at Robin's, and you know, the older kids are kind of seeing that there's some favoritism going on and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden.
There's only so many hours in a day, and the amount of attention you can give to a person when it's spread that thin, like,
is low. And it's really hard if your dad doesn't make the effort, you know? And
he's got other things to do.
Yeah.
Literally.
So out of kind of nowhere, Cody's like, I'm over living in Vegas. Like I want something different. And so they decide to move to Flagstaff, Arizona.
Okay.
So they do all of this visiting to Flagstaff. And again, I'm skipping over tons of bullet points. Like kids have been born and married and all kinds of stuff in the interim. But you know, we're just hitting the high notes.
Yeah.
To get us
kids have been married? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, like you know, because their older kids start getting married, and there's the last babies have just been born because Robin had 2 kids with Cody.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Saul and Ari, they're just the apples of his eye. The tender age children is what they call them. Anyway, so they decide to move to Flagstaff, which just so happens to be the city that Robin's oldest son like got like into college in, and he has like, she says he has Asperger's and needed extra assistance, but that's not why they moved there. They moved because they wanted to save money and all of this stuff. And
was he courting somebody else now?
No, he's stuck at 4. He's done.
Oh, okay.
He's done.
He capped off. So now they're going to move to Flagstaff, and they buy this big piece of property they're going to build on, and they end up getting all separated. Well, then like COVID hits. And like even right before COVID, they were just like way more, because they're not living by each other anymore. They're not spending that family time together at all. And he's much more. Did they all buy 4 different houses?
They were renting.
4 different neighborhoods?
Yeah, they were renting houses. Well, Christine bought, and then the others rented. And then they kept getting kicked out of houses because I guess that market's crazy and people would sell and blah, blah, blah. It was just nuts. Robin's all freaked out because they have no rentals, and she wants a rental with like 7 bedrooms, and there's just so much. And like they end up buying a house, and she's so upset about it because she just wants to be on the property, and you know, but they're not really making the effort to get on the property. And just all of this, like there's all of this kind of like friction happening in the family. And then COVID happens.
Okay.
And then Cody is just like upset. He's like so COVID adverse, and he's like, well, I'm going to be the only one going from family to family. We're not going to get together as a big group because, you know, the CDC says you can't have more than this many people. I'm like, outside of your family. It's your family. Like,
Yeah.
it was so wild. And so they decided like he had all of these rules and stuff. And so he was just going from house to house. But then all of a sudden, like Janelle's older kids that are adults are still living with her. You know, they just graduated high school or in college. And he was like, you need to kick them out because they still have social lives. And, you know, I can't afford to get COVID. And they were just so concerned about, especially Robin's kids getting COVID and blah, 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 all those things. It gets blown up. And like, it's just more and more it's more and more like Robin and Cody versus everyone else. And then Christine, one of her daughters, had scoliosis and had to go to New Jersey to get a back surgery because she was in so much pain. And he's like, well, I'm not going. And he's like, it's in a hot spot for COVID. I'm not going. And so this girl goes for this like life-changing surgery and Cody just didn't go. He's like, I have to be there for like 8 weeks, which I think Christine had to stay there. But I'm like, you could have gone for 4 days, come back. Just to show like a little bit of whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I'm not really a fan of this Cody person.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
No, most people aren't.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just like more and more fractions.
Okay.
Christine's basically, I can't do this anymore.
Okay.
I'm not going to do this anymore. And so last season, she's like, I'm done.
Oh,
and she's just like, I don't want to be with you, like basically. And he just really took offense. Like she basically packed up his stuff, put it in the garage and was like, he just found it one day when he was over there. So he's like, I've been moved out of my own house. And
like he was surprised.
He acts as kind of dumbfounded and he's has a lot of rage and anger towards Christine. And in the new episodes, he's talking about how I just don't want to hate you anymore. And it's just like wild stuff. And anyway, so she decides to leave. That again causes even more drama because.
So how does that even work? I thought they were sealed or whatever for eternity.
She's just like, I don't think she said, I think before she said she's not even in the faith anymore. So she doesn't care. It doesn't apply to her anymore. Right.
Oh, I don't know how this works.
Well, I mean, if it's.
So does that mean she's going to go to hell or whatever?
No, it just means that well, yeah, she would probably because she doesn't believe, but she actually has a fiance now.
What?
And
Wait,
so
what? Is this another polygamous person?
No. Solo guy, seems really great. She looks so happy. And there's this funny thing where Robin was saying like, because Christine basically said, we're done.
Wait, is Christine number 2?
She's number 3.
Number 3. Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
Robin's number 4. And that's Cody's favorite. And so she had said something like, well, technically, like she's not even divorced. Like she's not even unsealed from Cody until she's with another man. And just being kind of like, And Christine has definitely been with another man.
Okay.
She got a boob tattoo. She got a tattoo right over her heart. And it was just like, okay, like she's free as a bird, living her best life on the cover of People magazine.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. So,
for real?
Yeah. Like it came out in late August. So I know too much about them. I know.
You do.
And this has gone kind of everywhere. But the gist of it now, we're in the newest season. Christina's left and we find out Janelle has left too, right? Wife number 2. Like they were having some friction because
so does he still have wife number 1?
No.
That's what I thought.
This is the best. So like he and wife number 1 were kind of just like acting as friends, but finally she came out just in this last year and was like, okay, yeah, we're not together anymore. And this season is the one where she's like, I'm leaving. Like I'm not going to be living near the family anymore. And then Janelle, the second wife, she and Cody, Cody's her best friend. And all of a sudden he's just way more like he swallowed a red pill, like the red pill. Like the manverse kind of thing. He's really into that. And he was really upset that she wasn't more firm with the boys and like making them like follow all the rules. And she just does whatever she wants without telling him. And he's like, you guys signed up for the patriarchy. You signed up to, bend your will to mine kind of thing. And she's like, that's not what I signed up for.
Okay.
And so there's like been some explosive fights. And now we find out they're separated. And she's like,
so everyone's leaving him?
All 3 wives have left him and he's left with the 4th wife
Which
now.
was his favorite, apparently.
Which is his favorite. And it's just been like so messy and gross. And I know it's a family. That's kind of mean. They put it out there.
They did.
I'm not peeking over my fence watching these people.
What about these kids? Are the kids part of the show?
Yeah. So for a lot of years, like the
how is that even?
So the OG 3 kids, that's what they call the original 3 wives. Those kids, they're all super close for the most part. Like they grew up really close, especially Christine and Janelle's kids.
Oh,
yeah. Mary's kid is kind of like out on their own, doing their own thing.
Oh, right. You told me.
Yeah. But like the other kids are like very involved with each other for the most part. There's hiccups here and there, but they're pretty close. And some of them are married now with kids and stuff. And you see family pictures and them hanging out. And there was a whole thing about like Robin's kids weren't accepted by those kids. And like there's a clique and bullying and just all of this stuff that's like, I mean, I know it's all edited and things, but as a viewer, you get a sense, and it's just like, okay, I mean, unless this is 100% fake, some of this stuff just doesn't seem like it was really happening the way people are remembering it. But who am I? I'm not in the family. I mean, maybe if they asked, I'd be like, all right, guys.
You would not.
I would for the draw. I would to just be like, I need to know all of the. I don't want to be on the show. I just want to know all the history.
Fifth wife?
No, I'm okay. But thank you. Anyway, I just have to say, I love Sister Wives. It is fascinating. It's such an interesting look at like a lifestyle I would never, ever know anything about.
Totally.
And just like
that's why I have so many questions. It's so foreign and it's so, but yet it's happening right now.
Yeah, it's happening. Like there's people in our community that are in
not
these
very far away.
Yeah. Huh. Well, and to go back to his kids, like he's estranged from a lot of his adult children now because of his stance on COVID. Not very surprising. And how he's treated the moms and things. And, you know.
Well, also their life has been on, what is it, TLC for how many years?
Yeah. I don't know if that was as big a factor as, because a lot of them have stepped away from being on the show. I think a bigger factor was just the way he was treating, like if your dad's treating your mom really bad and showing favoritism to a woman that was brought in and her kids that are your step, you know, you don't want to say step siblings, but that's it, you know, and just all of that dynamic. Wow. It's pretty hard.
I mean, no wonder the show's been on for a long time. It is a lot of drama just within its own self. Like,
yeah. So
they don't even you don't even have to create it.
No, it just happens just because of the dynamic of everything.
Yeah. I can't even imagine.
No, there is a show called Seeking Brother Husbands, all about a woman with multiple husbands, which I think sounds horrible. That sounds like the worst thing ever. I mean, I would not.
What would be why?
I don't know.
See, I get the sister wives thing for sure from the point of the guy.
Yeah,
and
I could get it from if it's like a religious practice.
Well, also, I mean, can we work together and like you take if I had like another adult female who was like helping and doing stuff, like we could be a team. Yep. But I don't want a sister wife. I just want like a staff member that I don't have to pay.
Right.
What do I want?
Oh, you want like a live-in? Well, first you need a home manager. You need a home manager.
That's it.
And like just somebody to a helper.
Yeah.
A helpmate. But I mean, I think through the show too, I've seen people that believe in polygamy because of religion. I've seen people that just want to be in polygamous relationships. Like there's all kinds of reasons that people do things, right?
I guess.
It's just, I mean, it's not in my...
I don't understand the benefit. What's the benefit
I think part of it is like raising your family communally, maybe. I don't know. Right? Like they talk a lot in Sister Wives, like especially Janelle and Christine talk a lot about like how amazing it was to have a sister wife that like loved their kids so much and like helped raise them. And now they have these like amazing relationships. I look at it as like an auntie. Like if I did have kids, I would expect you to treat my kids a certain way. Yeah. Even though like I'm not really that great of an auntie to anybody's children that I know. Sorry to all my friends out there, but that's my bad. But anyway, so the story is still unfolding, right?
Yeah, like they're living their lives.
Yes, we're still seeing the fallout from...
How can it be Sister Wives, though, if he only has one left?
Exactly. That's why we're all just like...
Maybe this is the final season.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think they're going to get at least one more. Yeah.
Maybe like another wife?
I don't think another wife, but I think they'll get another season because like Christine gets engaged soon or was engaged and all this stuff. So I think they're going to want to see that through like if they can see her wedding and her happy and settled with this new guy. And we're about a year behind. So we're seeing the fallout still from the divorce. So we're watching stuff from like 2021, I think. And so I would love it if they could get us caught up a little faster, but it's all good. And so I just spend my nights like, I spend my days watching Sister Wives on repeat. I spend my nights on like the Sister Wives Reddit feeds. Do I comment? Absolutely not. I'm not one of those people.
You're like an expert.
I watch all the Sister Wives TikToks. There's this lady called Mrs. Kickstand and she does all of these like, watch parties and different things. And I'm on there all the time, just in the background lurking and just loving my Sister Wives. So
you are.
You're going to find me on the Sunday nights watching the Sister Wives.
Okay.
You're going to find me on Monday on the TikTok watching the lives, going through the recaps. And I just think everybody should watch Sister Wives.
Okay. Well, I will make no promises, but I am intrigued.
Okay. That's all I can ask
for. Where do you find, not where do you find it? Where do you watch it?
I watch it
platform?
I watch it on Max, the HBO streaming platform.
Okay.
But people like watch it on cable, like TLC. And I think you can still watch it on Discovery Plus. So.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have any of those, I don't think. Unless they're included.
But if you ever want to come to my house
and watch Sister Wives.
Yeah. And I also have, them downloaded because I did buy a lot of the first season. So I could just loan you my iPad and you could just go to town one weekend.
You could never loan me your iPad.
No, I wouldn't. iPad kids for life.
Hey, if you're enjoying this podcast and would like to support our show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost, so check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.